Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. I had such an intense weekend. I don't know if anyone was feeling that energy, but holy crap. We are coming up to a Mercury retrograde at the end of this week, but we are in the shadow period right now. So again, this highlights communication. It can kind of halt communication, technology, travel plans. So double check any contracts and stuff like this and emails. Make sure you're reading the fine print on anything within probably the next month or so. This is really the kind of energy that's out there. Nothing to fear though. I know a lot of people dread Mercury retrograde, and I think sometimes I do as well. But you know, it's bringing stuff up for us to clear, just like a full moon would. And we may just become more conscious of our old habits and patterns and belief systems that are no longer serving us. So that's why all this stuff gets stirred up, so it can come up and catch our attention and we can release it and let it go. And that's the key. I really feel like right now the best thing to do is surrender and to let go, as hard as it is, because it's really the best option for me, and I think it's the best option for everyone, no matter what you're going through right now, is just to surrender it to the universe, to let go and let God, if you will, to call on positive energies and angels and whoever you feel guided to call on, and just let it go. Because in that way you're handing it to the universe and it's being taken care of, and you just trust it and you let it go. I know firsthand how hard that is, because we often want to give something up to the universe and take it back, and no, never mind, I want to take control of it, and that's really what we're doing when we worry and stew and overthink about things. And I caught myself doing this, you know, within the past few days, especially yesterday. It's like, okay, I'm going to let this go, and no, but, you know, I should really worry about it. And it's like, you know what, worrying about stuff is not going to help me, it's not going to help anyone else, and in order for me to be my best self and to be of service to others, is to be kind to myself and to let go. So it's a constant practice. You know, try not to get too mad at yourself if you trip up, because we all do. Oftentimes, like I said, we send it out to the universe and please help me with this situation, and infuse it with light and love, and you know, you can envision light and you can pray about it and send positive thoughts to people. But if you just keep grabbing that situation, taking it back down to basically your ego and fear and coming at it at that angle, and you just keep worrying about it, you know, you don't allow the universe to work its magic. And I've said this before, but you know, it's true that there's love that is always trying to come to us. There's abundance that is always trying to flow to us. Our angels always want to help us. Our past loved ones always want to help us. Source, spirit, creator, God, whoever you want to refer to, is always trying to help us and guide us along our path with peace and grace and ease and flow. And we often get in our own way. I know all about it. So, you know, just try your best. It's a constant practice, like I said, to just let go. Because in that way, the universe can take care of it and can start healing it. And healing's a never-ending journey, so remember that. I'm going to use the daily guidance from your angels cards. I know I use this deck a lot, but I really feel like it has really key messages, and I work really well with this deck. And I'm also going to pull one card from the Flower Therapy deck. For some reason I feel called to do that. So I'm going to trust that, and it's a very gentle deck with gentle messages, so I feel like that will really help us this week. So I'm going to focus here for this week, and we'll see what's coming up for everybody. And call on Archangel Michael as well, just for extra protection. You can all do that every single day. Always remember to infuse yourself and everything you do and everyone you love, and you know, your home, your work, anything, anywhere you go, with white light and extra purple protection light. I seem to think that helps, and I really do, so give it a try. Never hurts if you feel called to do so. For the beginning of this week, we have child. This is all about your inner child and other people's inner child as well. I've mentioned before that when there's intense energies, could be a full moon, could be a retrograde, watch how children act, because it's still a really important message. Because oftentimes, I mentioned this a couple weeks ago, when there was a full moon. We carry stress in our body as adults. We kind of repress a lot of our emotions. And, you know, if we watch children when there's intense energies going on in the universe, we can see how that energy is affecting everybody, including ourselves. So, such a, you know, a great healing thing to do. But also, I've been thinking over this past weekend about my own inner child and other people's inner child, because we all have one. And I think when it comes to healing, it really can be beneficial to look at a picture of yourself when you were a child, and even to look at someone else's pictures when they were a child. So say if you're having issues with someone in your family, or even a friend or a partner of any sort, if they have posted, you know, pictures of them as a child, maybe take a second to go look at that. And I'm not saying that in like a weird, creepy way, but I'm saying to go look at that, because that is their core. And that was when they were a child, right? That's when they were very innocent, when they were very pure, when they were very connected to spirit, when they probably were experiencing very, very few blockages, when they were very open about their emotions, and they were just being. And as we grow up, you know, we kind of build up all these walls to love and all of this crap all the time. And we repress our emotions and all this stuff, right? So when you look at a picture of someone when they were a child, you can connect to their soul, I feel. And you can connect to their true essence and who they really are. Even though we always are growing and evolving, and obviously we're all very different from when we were a child. In a lot of ways, there's a lot more connections than you think. Because if you think back to when you were a child and what you wanted to be when you grow up, you know, a lot of that, I bet you, still can connect to who you are today. And that definitely resonates with me, because when I was a child, I wanted to be a teacher and I wanted to be a musician. And now, you know, I'm obviously doing both. And I just feel like there are many things that are still a huge part of me. I collected rocks, I collected angels. I didn't grow up in a religious household whatsoever. And obviously, you know, coming to this realization of the past few years, it's like I was very, very connected to spirit. And throughout my spiritual journey and awakening even more as an adult, I can really see, obviously, my growth and how far I've come and blah, 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 but also how my core essence is exactly the same as when I was a child. So anyway, if you're experiencing any kind of healing with someone, I'm sure we're all trying to heal some sort of relationship, first with ourselves and with others. Really try to envision them, especially like after an argument or in the middle of an argument, or if you just don't know where your relationship's headed, or if it just feels really negative and nasty. Clear out the negative energy. Obviously, call on Archangel Michael to cut the negative cords and let go of the fears and let go of all the hurt from the past. And envision them as a child, even if you don't have a picture of them, a physical picture of them. Envision them in your mind's eye as a child and connect to their soul, to their core, because that's everyone's core, is love and light. And I think sometimes we really forget that, and I'm guilty of that as well, aren't we all? You know, we're human and we make mistakes, and sometimes we start to focus on people's flaws and we focus on our own flaws. You know, we're perfectly imperfect, but, you know, I find with the people we love the most, sometimes we just kind of start picking at them more and more as years go by, and, you know, it's really easy to pick someone apart, even the people you love the most. So it's really important to kind of see the truth under all of that fear and under all of that judgment, to get to the root, get to the core of love and light, which is everyone's inner child, essentially. So that may help. Give that a go. For the middle of this week, we have Law of Attraction. So again, huge reminder that we get what we are focusing on, and we are powerful manifestors. That's for sure. I witnessed this over this weekend as well. Being very focused on what's wrong in a situation, being confused, wanting an answer, wanting my logical mind to be able to understand and control everything, focusing on other people's flaws, my flaws, what's wrong, negative stuff. And that in turn was giving me negative back. And you know, I've found that over the past while, I've been trying really hard to put on a strong front and to not let anyone hurt me ever again. And by me doing that and acting out of that place of fear of I'm going to be hurt again, so I'm going to put up this huge wall and you know, just kind of jab people with not so nice comments and subconsciously hurt people, that's what happened. You know, I ended up hurting people that I love without even meaning to, because I was trying to protect myself from getting hurt. So in trying to not get hurt, I ended up hurting people, which ended up hurting me anyway. You know what I mean? So you have to really watch what you focus on, because you really do have a lot more control than you think. And though we are not in control of everything, you know, we do have a lot of power. Our thoughts hold a lot of power and our actions hold a lot of power. But even if you talk positively about someone that you love and know to someone else and to the whole world, and you just, you know, embrace them in their light, at the end of the day, if you're not, you know, being nice to the actual person, you know, how much are you benefiting them? Really, that's kind of something I've been thinking about. It's like, oh crap, you know, I can talk about that person in such a positive way and embrace them and talk about how much I love them to the moon and back, you know. But if I'm acting out of like fear of being hurt, I subconsciously am sending, you know, hurtful things their way, and finally realizing, you know, and having them say to me, having people say to me that what I've been saying to them has made them feel hurt. It's like, oh, I didn't even realize, you know, how powerful my words were to you. So trying to be assertive is important, but it's different than being aggressive, and I think sometimes it easily can go into being an aggressive thing. So it's just a reminder in the middle of this week to focus on the positive, no matter what, to focus on your inner child, other people's inner child. Focus on the light and focus on the love, because that's the truth of it all. That's the core of it all. Fear and illusion are not real, and love will always, always win and triumph, and, you know, that's just the reality, and we get to choose to see that reality, because you can get lost in fear forever. You really can. Negativity obviously exists, and I think it's okay to acknowledge that negativity exists, but it's a whole other thing to get really lost in a downward spiral and to get focused on really negative things and all the things that you think are wrong with yourself and with others. You know, it's a huge mess if you let it be. But you don't have to choose to do that. You can choose to forgive yourself and to forgive others, and I think forgiveness is a huge part of this week, which I'm really feeling. For the weekend, we have fresh air again. That's 2 weeks in a row. And you know what, I believe that Doreen Virtue picked up on this in her weekly reading as well. I don't quite remember as I watched it yesterday, but I do believe she picked up on fresh air for this week. And yeah, she definitely did. It's coming back to me now. Fresh air helps us to ground, it helps us to heal, it helps us to stay in the present moment. Again, with children, this is a common message that's coming up lately. Children are very present. They're in the moment. They feel their feelings. They don't repress them. They feel it. If they feel upset, they let it out, and they're moving forward, and they're on to the next thing before you know it. And they're not holding any grudges, and they're not saying, well, 5 months ago, this really hurt me. 2 years ago, this really hurt me. And we do that as adults, do we not? Because we're not really in the moment anymore sometimes. And it happens to the best of us, myself included, you know. And I think it's important for me to be able to say that kind of thing too, because, you know, in all honesty, I have times that are hard too. I, you know, am just like everyone else. I'm equal with all of you, and I know sometimes maybe I can come off as, I don't know, having it all together, or, you know, I'm an artist and I'm, you know, a mentor, and though I am those things, you know, I'm also a human being who experiences a lot of stuff that everyone else does, and, you know, I obviously have a lot of love and a lot of things to give out to the world, but, you know, I also have a lot of blockages as well, like just like everyone else. I have a lot of pain too. You know, I can block out a lot of good stuff sometimes, so I think being honest about that is important for me to do right now. So I'm always going to be genuine and honest with you guys, and that's what I will continue to do through videos, through my music, and just through being who I am. And I think it's kind of funny though how I can do this on such a wide scale to a lot of people, you know, to the internet and everyone on the web and stuff like this in front of a huge crowd, for example. But when it comes to my intimate relationships, sometimes I have a hard time being seen as this vulnerable, which is just really interesting. I don't know if anyone else does that, but yeah. Anyway, going out into nature is really, really healing for everybody. And going for walks is just amazing. Feeling the wind, soaking in the sun rays. If it's cloudy, feel the rain. You know, like, it doesn't matter what the weather is. Being outside in nature is always healing. It's very natural. It brings back feelings from when you were a child, and it's just nothing but positive. It really is. The additional message for this week from the Flower Therapy deck is let go of anxiety with lavender. It's a message from lavender. It says, calm your nerves and you'll be able to hear the voice of your angels. So that's really what, you know, this week is all about. Is letting go of stress and breathing, going out in nature, letting your inner child come out and play, acknowledging and loving and accepting your inner child, parenting your inner child in a nurturing, loving way, and also being able to do that with other people's inner child as well. Remember that the law of attraction is always in motion, and it's really important to stay focused on the positive. And that doesn't mean that, you know, we should throw away the negative and just sweep it under the rug and pretend it doesn't exist, because it does. We have fears that come up, we have patterns that come up, you know, especially retrograde time, stuff comes up for us to pay attention to. It's important to feel those emotions. And if you feel really crappy, feel it out, you know, cry it out, go outside and heal naturally. That will really help you. Maybe even if you have any kind of lavender scent, that could really help you calm down as well. It could be a candle, could be actual real lavender, it could be just wearing purple. These things are very healing. So simple things can really help us to go through transitions like this and go through these powerful times in the universe. So, lots of healing going on. If anyone ever wants to contact me, you can still email me at justines.stream@gmail.com. My schedule is really picking up and things are, you know, crazy. I feel like everyone is moving forward motion with Mars going direct. Things are starting to really launch. But this is great. Just trust that everything's happening at the perfect divine time. There's nothing to worry about. There's lots of healing going on. Sometimes there's not, you know, positive emotions, but there always is a positive lesson no matter what. There's always a positive message no matter what you're feeling. So keep that in mind. I will talk to you guys next week. Take care. Bye.